How we doing? Mama, good morning, y'all. Mama, let's go, man. Previously on Kimba TV. Do know, for example, that if Trump does a press conference and he says, psych, we're not going to do tariffs, at a minimum, we're going to do a 90-day pause because I'm such a great negotiator and all the countries want to renegotiate with America.
You just said.
So we're going to pause the tariffs for 90 days. You know that we're going to fly, right? So just be careful. Our BCM says, I'm ready, planned, and prepared. Let's go. Still not too late. Make sure you're caught up if you don't know what the plan is. Everything's been talked about for the last couple days. Let's get it, man. You guys excited? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ka-chaya! Here we go. Here we go. Easy money. Easy money. Schwiggity schwaggity, chat. Schwiggity schwaggity. It's easy money. Here we go. Here we go. It's a kachoya. Month to month is negative 0.1. It's a kachoy. It's a kachoy, ladies and gentlemen. Month to month is negative 0.1. Here we go. It's a kachoya. It's a kachoya. Let's go. Math is math. It's too easy. Are you ready, Lions? Are you ready? 2.4, chat. It's 2.4. Let's go. Easy money math. If there's anybody here that still doesn't know what the plan is,
my trainer, he told
you
me,
gotta get the fuck out of here, boy.
It's
It's
he just
easy.
told us to be prepared.
Quit playing with me. All right, everybody caught up. Everybody good to go. Sisters, OMN, thank you for the resub. Let's go. Busalo says, feeling prepared and ready to juice. That's all that matters, ladies and gentlemen. That's all that matters. Let's go. Yup. You guys remember when CPI last month ended? And we were like, all right, time to start planning for the April one. As soon as this one ends, we're going to start preparing for May FOMC, man. You ready? Hey, exclamation juicy Maguchi. Exclamation prepared. How y'all doing? But for the most part though, ladies and gentlemen, like I said yesterday, this is like our 28th or 29th CPI, if not more. We've seen a lot of these. So, yeah, exciting stuff, man. You guys excited? Let's go, man. Yeah. Yanelec says, Kimba, sir, CPI seen good for business? No, this is CPI. This is Consumer Price Index. PPI is for business. That's tomorrow. Yeah. Make sure you know what CPI is, brother. We broke out the chart yesterday, if you remember. Wambalance says, I spent the night learning from the March CPI VOD. Nice. You want to study all the CPIs, though, because they give you different variations. You know what I mean? So you have the CPIs where there's no volatility until market open. You have the CPIs where the volatility is before market open. You have the CPIs where the volatility actually kicks in towards the end of the day. So how do you time that? You know, compare and contrast. Yeah, because it's not like what you're going to see today is going to be the first time the market has done that, right? Like, you've had every combination already. So it's just a matter of comparing and contrasting, you know, all the other ones from the past. So, and bonus points, if you went back to like 2008, 2010, 2012, recession, inflationary periods, even like the housing crisis. So you can start to understand like how the markets react and when they react, you know, when the markets are bullish or when the markets are bearish. So Yeah, it's just a lot of like pattern recognition and memory recall. So not too difficult, you know what I mean? So let's get it, man. Any questions? Any questions? Eski says, oh my God, so true. My wife is the reason I'll never stop fighting. Let's go. Hey, quitters never win and winners never quit. Let's go. Cachoya! No Diabito, Canvas Players, Younger Kimba Brother, Bus Cree, what's going on? Mo Guy, what's going on? Lawless Yak, what's going on? Happy 420, what's going on? Return of Potato, what's going on? ZZZ Soyo, what's going on? Dimitri says, I saw all the CPI streams. Every one of them are different. No, they're pretty similar. So it's your job to spot the pattern. Obviously, like if you're a new lion, it's going to seem different. But this is what I would do, Dimitri. Start by breaking down, is the environment bullish or bearish? Okay, so is the economy bullish? Okay, or is the economy bearish? Okay, and like put all of the months like this. So maybe January it was bullish, maybe March was bullish, right? Divide it to bullish and bearish. Okay, and then after you divide that up, take this half, take that half, okay, and figure out if it was under the forecast or above the forecast, okay? And then last but not least, try to figure out which way the boo gammas were aiming. That will tell you if the initial move is debate or not. Okay, so take the last 3 years worth of CPI, right? Divide them into bullish environment, bearish environment. Okay, then divide it into, did it undercut or did it exceed what was forecasted? Okay, and last but not least, which way did boo gammas look? That's what's going to help you figure out if the initial move is debate or not. But you got to be able to do that and think of those things on your own. Okay? You're already losing if I have to tell you to do that. You should already be doing that. Okay? But your job is to figure out what the pattern is. So you can't just be sitting there talking about, they all look different. No, it's your responsibility to figure out what's the same. I can't even remember. I'm so let us up already at fucking 7:47 in the morning. I think I told you guys like 81.5 zone, that point of control is a very important level. So we need to see if it's going to regain the level or if it's going to do a bearish retest. But I don't know if I said that out loud or if it was in my head, but are we good? Ali says you mentioned it. Okay. Even if I didn't though, hopefully you guys knew it already. So it's just step by step, level by level, right? Structure change. But yeah, so don't get got. I mean, if you were somebody that was bearish, you had another opportunity to get into a short. So lots of opportunities. It just, really just comes down to your own subconscious bias. Are you looking for a long? Are you looking for a short? What are you doing? How long are you willing to wait? What levels do you have identified? You know what I mean? No, but for real, ladies and gentlemen, remember, I'm just a random dude on the internet with a giant bong in front of his face, okay? If my dumbass can do it, y'all can do it, all right? Let's lock in, all right? I mean, at this point, I've said it so many goddamn times. Is there a hidden CVD bull div? Yes or no? You guys tell me, man, okay? How many of y'all are going to be waiting for structure? What are you guys prioritizing in terms of veg? I mean, it's already on the YouTube, but does anybody need to look at Exo? We're going to try to give away $250,000. It says that there's 1,000 viewers right now, but obviously I've got about 780 iPads in my living room watching my own stream. So there's really only about 220 of you guys. So that means that it's going to be about $1,000 per person. All right. So there's probably only like 200 of you guys, actual humans watching this shit. So that's about $1,000 per person. All right, you guys down? I've already gotten starting to hit some of my TPs. If S&P goes through that box, half of my S&P short is closed. I think we're up close to 380 right now. 1,000 doll hairs. All right, got to be test net. What do you guys think about the preparation and the planning? What do you think? I'm going to put my stop loss above my entry now as the structure has changed on a smaller time frame, and I can't lose. So that's it. Cashmar says, I think we are cool. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Even if it nukes, I can't lose, brother. You know? So, if you guys remember, like, everything's been talked about. This is not that, uncommon. So, yeah, like, what's the next thing that, like, if you're bullish, for example, what's the thing that you should probably turn into support? You know, I don't need to tell you guys what, we need to do, right? And if you are getting rejected off of value area high, but you are able to bounce off of point of control, then you have maybe 3 candle closes. So in this case, 90 minutes to get back above value area high. So bulls, clock is ticking. You need to get back above VWAP, and you need to get the fuck out of value area high. All right. Bears, all you need to do is lose point of control, and then you're going to see value area low. At that point, the RTH lows are all going to be coming into play. So that's going to get cleaned. So you need to do something like this, bears. All right. You guys ready? I feel like the game is a lot funner to watch. Dimitri says, is it a rule 90 minute? No, it's not. It's just what we've seen in the past. So what I want you to do, Dimitri, is whether it's like, do you know about previous day value area high, previous day value area low, and then daily open if it's outside what full rotate is? Okay, so this is daily open, value area high, and value area low. Okay, do you know that if it goes into value and then if it does a bearish retest at value area high, then which is right here, that it's going to have a chance to rotate to the other side? So this is more of a time-based value play. This is more of a TPO. It's a little bit different, but the point is value here. If you start here and you go in and you do this, then the chances of rotating here become higher. Okay? If you open outside, this is value area low, okay? If you open outside and you get back and you flip it into support, going to here, the probability is higher. So like if you're in a long, for example, that's what I mean is not only do you need to turn a bunch of shit into support, but like right here, right now, you need to get immediately outside of value area high and you need to start flipping VWAP into support. So just watch the game, boys. Hey, useless lines. Joy, let's go. Let's juice. Let's juice on them. Let's juice on them. Wazzo says for the long structure, did you take the sweep of the first candle to form a rounded bottom? Yep. First one arrives, second one cleans, third one is a higher low. And since we already broke above that, I already put my stop loss at break even. Do you remember? Have you been watching me take these longs the last couple weeks? Do you remember what I said about longs with entries above 76, brother? Because the rule hasn't changed for about 3 months now. Have you been able to follow? This is not the first long that I've taken above 76. So do you remember what I said about entries above 76, bro? That I want longs below like 72.70, right? So if it's a entry above 76, we're aggressive with putting our stop loss at break even. Because even if we're scalping longs, I still want lower, right? Can I see EXO again? Yes. There you go. And value area low is like 74.5. But again, at that point, like you're already sweeping the lows. You know, all this is shit. All this is bad lows. So let's go. Do you have long on S&P? No. The only thing I have on S&P are shorts. I closed half of it at this box. I still have half of my shorts still running. And then if it gets near VWAP or point of control, I'll close out the rest. Croissant says, why the box here? Because maybe it's going to be resistance. We don't know if it's support or resistance, right? So 2, 3, 30-minute candle closes and time spent or building value above or below a level is what we're looking at now. All right. I just explained how just because your long or short doesn't work, the level of interest, if it actually is a level of interest, it's always going to be objectively used as support or resistance. So there's no need to remove it regardless of if it's support or resistance. There we go. Let's go log in, croissant. Happy CPI Thursday. And then I don't think I have any more long attempts after this, because if you remember, like we were saying, that's going to get cleaned. And so really the only thing that you could maybe think is that one. We did the fibception, so we pulled the fib from here to here. You know, golden pocket is like right there. Maybe, you know. If it's going to do that, if it's not going to be a full fill, then I'd rather have it do it during ETH. Does that make sense? I'll say that again, croissant. If it's going to do this, if it's not going to get the cut choice CME gap fill, then I'd rather have that low, that partial low come in during ETH and have ETH do a lower low than the RTH low. Cut choice! Hey, exciting times, man. Are you ready? Hey, don't get got. Don't get got. All right? Remember, this is what we're looking at. This is what we're looking at. Don't get got, Lions. All right? And always remember, you've got your smaller time frame, day-to-day stuff. You got the medium, and you got the higher time frame. All right? Good job. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. And quick question, just maybe because some people need a reality check. If we're gonna actually get into like a really big long, when are we gonna most likely do it? Even though it is a CPI day, would it really be on a Thursday? Would it really be on a Friday? No. I mean, we should, Fred, if anything, we should be getting into a long before FOMC, not get into a long on FOMC. Did you hear what I was saying earlier, Fred, about how, bro, if it's going to be bullish, dude, I hope we go to 68 and snap immediately back and we actually close above 90. Like end of April, we should be like above 85, 88, 90. And then we get rate cuts first week of May. And then that's what catapults us to like 130. But I don't know about going to 68 on FOMC. But anyways, I was more like talking about like Monday and Tuesday, you know? So, yeah, man. JV says, I still did not take the long. How would you chase it if it rips? I mean, you know what the answer is. So, what is this? First off, where is your threshold? Is it here or is it here? Right? So, or is it there? Which one do you want? JV, you already know. Yeah, just be careful. I wouldn't get too carried away, you know, with the long. Are you still in yours? Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of running out of time. So, and you got this going on, so you're spending a little bit too much time probably below. It should have snapped back by now. So here, I mean, I'll probably get stopped out in tiny profito. Right as us. But spending a little bit too much time, man. I don't know if you were here, but we set a pretty specific time limit on when it would have to get back above value area highs. So, yeah. Yeah, baby Cacho, mine is still running, but it's okay if you got stopped out at Tiny P. Where did you get stopped out in Tiny P? So first things first, I'm sure you're looking at structure and whatnot. Next time, baby Cacho, shave a little bit at the range. Shave a little bit at the range. Shave a little bit, especially if it's RTH VWAP. So shave a little bit there. That's going to allow you to put your stop loss at a lower low and it's still break even. Alrighty? But think about what would make you not stay in the long. Did the hidden bull div go away? Did longs or short open interest edge change? What about S&P? So the only thing that sucks is just running out of time and it's spending too much time below. But as you see like a failed auction building, just try your best to hang in there. Once that doesn't work, then you can close it, baby Kachoy. Martin says, if I'm looking for a short right now, what should I be keeping an eye on? Bearish retest. But we talked about the short live yesterday. You should be in the short from here. Make sure you rewind and get caught up. And then we also talked about the TPO bearish retest at 81.5. So we talked about a short yesterday. We talked about a short at that golden pocket. And the last one this morning, we said that's a short too right there. So try to show up earlier. All right? Yeah, everything. We talk about everything and we prepare about everything. So we talked about it yesterday too. So make sure you rewind and get caught up. If it was going to really be bullish, like if this is going to hold, right? Look, right? ETH, it already filled it. Switching back to RTH. So if that's going to hold, we're looking for something like this. Higher time frame. So the invalidation would be like around here, and then I would try to close it here on some sort of like higher low. But yeah, we broke this down yesterday as spooked. If you want to get caught up on the highlights from yesterday. Yeah, but something like that, getting above like 90. Yeah. Um, Omar says, still working on my ability to find edge because even though I'm patient and can wait for the right levels, I won't take the trade unless I ID proper edge. Maybe my sample size is still too small. To be honest with you, it's probably even simpler than that. You just might not be able to think as quickly as other people when the bullets start flying. So Omar, like, do you remember what I said yesterday? So first things first, what do you like the identification of the levels, right? It all starts with levels, right? All starts with levels, and our original box for the short was like this, but obviously, you know, the ES VWAP is right in the box, but Bitcoin VWAP is a little bit lower, so we have to be cognizant of that. Point of control is right there, right? That's point of control, and then your single print is right there, right? Can you see it? That's why sometimes I'll delete the box, but single print is right there, right? So it all starts with identifying the level. So if you didn't understand all of that, like even though I didn't take an ES long, I still shaved half of my short there, right? So you have a decision to make. You can either TP the short or you can hedge long. I kind of did like a hybrid, right? And do you remember when we were talking about this pullback, what you would want to see? I specifically said the open interest won't really matter too much, but I need to see a hidden CVD bull div. Do you remember that? On any sort of volume-based candle, you're going to be able to see it. I want to find like the easiest one to see for you guys. This one. So this anchor is this anchor that we pulled the fib from. This low right here is this one right here. Not that second one, not the third one. So you can see it. One, first low, second low, and that's the third one. Not the first one, not the second one, the third one. So from here to here, you have the hidden bull div we talked about. And then the fib that we pulled yesterday. Right? So Omar, like all I did, I talked about all this shit yesterday. And not only that, bro, I talked about this possible long when we were here. So I think it hits differently for people depending on like how you're preparing and planning. And this is why I always say this, bro. I'm never going to be able to convince your subconscious bias. So if you're more bullish than I am, if you're more bearish than I am, when the bullets start flying, when the adrenaline is surging through your blood and you've got cortisol pumping through your blood, it's your flight or fight response. The real you shows up. So if you're not as bullish as I am, then you're never going to take it. There's no amount of data that could be in front of your face. Think about how I said every little edge about all of this. We pulled the fib. We talked about where the pivot point is. We talked about volume. We talked about structure. You know, we talked about S&P confluence. I waited on the Bitcoin long until I saw S&P hitting my box. Think about that. So, you know, I identified the level, Omar, right? Single print, point of control, pixel perfect golden pocket, and I anticipated the edge. I even said something specific like I need S&P confluence and a hidden bull div. Literally, that's what I got, so I took it. And I shaved right at VWAP and at the top of the box. so that I'm not going to get stopped out. And I can put it at a lower low because I'm not trying to make money off of this long, right? I've got so much Bitcoin spot. I don't need to be chasing Bitcoin longs. What I really need to do is hedge against dumps and get into more shorts. So I'm never going to be like too worried about like missing out on a long. I've already have enough. My spot bag will be bigger than any derivative margined long position I could ever take. So all I need to do, me personally, is, you know, worry about getting into shorts because I'm never going to sell my spot bag. You know, and then anytime that I juice on my shorts, I take that profit and I just end up buying more spot anyways. So, Omar, if you go back, it's all there for you. But for me, since it's my own internal organic plan and it's what I'm going to be doing, it's a lot easier for me to execute. If you go back to yesterday, we were up here when I was talking about this pullback. We were up here when I was talking about coming back down to here. So I already knew that this was going to happen, so I'm not going to get baited on a long. And since I know that's what's going to happen from a bullish retest standpoint, I'm not going to get bearish as it does this. You know? So, and even though, you know, I think we got maybe close to like 220K today. You know what the real juice is going to be? To see the Coin Nerd sentiment report, and not just in my Twitch chat, not just in my Discord, but all around crypto. Who got bearish right here? You know, who got bullish up here? You know, that's the real juice for me, right? So, yeah, I'm excited to, you know, get my daily sentiment analysis report, but Omar, I'm just doing me, man. I wanted S&P Confluence and hidden CVD bull div. I got it. I said it many, many times. If the data is there, I'm not going to be afraid to take it. So, to be honest, Omar, I think the only difficult thing for today would have been if you didn't anticipate like a failed auction structure and you got stopped out. You know, like everybody can see this, right? So the only thing that I think Lion Cubs might have got on is, you know, getting 886 or something like that, right? I would assume that's 886 because it's so close, because when it makes a weak low like that, it's almost 99% of the time 886. Come on. Do you guys see why mathematically, if you don't want to get stopped out, you have to put your stop loss behind the 886? It's damn near a round trip, basically. But Omar, even if you got stopped out, you know what this is looking like. In fact, I'm pretty sure I fucking drew this, bro. I think I drew this. I'm so let us up, dude. I don't even know what I'm drawing and what I'm not. But like, dude. Okay? Like, how can you not do this? But anyways, it's all right in front of you, my guy. So even if you were not really down to long right here, or you got stopped out right here, I would ask you, like, what part of this and what part of this are you not liking? You know? And any of these long attempts, the stop loss would be a structure change invalidation anyways. So if you're not taking these longs, then you got to be honest with yourself. Either you're completely unprepared, or let's be real, your subconscious is not bullish, and that's okay. You know, if I need to like hold your hand through this whole fucking thing, then let's be real, like you weren't looking for a long in the first place. So, and that's okay. Sounds good. But everything in front of us, I feel like, is just math. You know, identify the levels. I think we did a pretty good job. And then as that level is approached, see what is going on. Do you have any anticipatory edge? If you have that edge, be disciplined and man enough to take it and put your managed risk. So maybe the most common thing that I think could have been the lesson for today is, you know, if you did get stopped out in profit, you had many ways to get back in. The other thing too is 886 is where you put your stop loss. So that's all pixel perfect math. Golden pocket could have been another one. And last but not least, regardless of where your entry is, whether you're longing or you're shorting, you need to put your stop loss, break even, however way you're going to do it. That doesn't necessarily mean you literally put your stop loss in front of your entry. If you're shaving a little bit, then you don't necessarily have to put your stop loss in front of your entry for break even. And these are all still, you know, concepts that we've talked about. Easterdam says, is your stop loss still at lower low? No, now it's right here. Do you know why? So here, right? Higher high, higher low, okay? Higher high, which means that from here to here, I would tolerate something like that. So, yeah, like it's kind of like scattered all between like right here, but it is not lower low anymore. It would be the structure shift, so like this. So you would tolerate this, maybe a wick, not this anymore. What are the green bars? Single prints. Sounds good, Easterdam. But Easterdam, I feel like, brother, just a real quick reminder, bro. You know you and I have taken some nice longs on Thursdays and Fridays. Guess what happened, bro? We got round tripped. Like, even if we survived Friday, bro, we got round tripped over the weekend, and we ended up chasing that bitch again on Monday. I don't know if you can, like, remember these things, but I can, like, dude, I get spanked so hard, it's really easy for me to recall these things, bro. So, do you think I'm tripping about a Thursday, Friday long? I don't want you guys to be thinking you missed a really good long and you have to somehow, like, aggressively chase it. That is wrong. There's no way you guys should be, like, feeling like you missed a long and you got to aggressively chase it. Don't do that. Well, let's lock in another day tomorrow. I'll be here early. Let's get that 15-second alpha TA. Obviously, we're all looking at VWAP. You guys good on the VWAP? Obviously, below VWAP, bearish, above Bellagio. And you've got a whole bunch of bad highs up there that ES could start sweeping. Same thing with Bitcoin. Coincidentally, that bitch is right on the value area high and single print. So usually that's kind of a little bit baity for a short. It would be much better if you broke out and then you dipped back in. So if you're looking for a short, ironically, you want it to break value area high and then tuck back in. That's your sign of weakness. So be careful if you're trying to, like, pixel perfect short value area high, single print, or VWAP. As always, playing and waiting for RTH gap is going to be the safest. Last but not least, it's Thursday night going into Friday morning. Let's not get too carried away. The juice is probably going to be, would you recommend trading Ethereum right now? Me personally, no. I already accumulated a little bit of spot mail. I've been eyeing Ethereum 1600 and Sol 95 for quite some time. So I'm in some longs on those already and some other altcoin longs. I did not get fulfilled, and it's a derivative and a spot play. Yeah, but the problem is ETH BTC still looks bearish. And do you know what it means when ETH BTC is bullish and when ETH BTC is bearish? That means that if ETH BTC is bullish, then if Bitcoin is pumping, ETH is going to pump harder. If Bitcoin is dumping, then ETH is dumping less. ETH is bullish against Bitcoin. Okay? So some people like to look at Bitcoin dominance. Some people like to look at ETH BTC, but that's what I like to use ETH BTC for. If ETH BTC is bearish, then that means that even if Bitcoin pumps, ETH isn't going to pump that much. And if Bitcoin dumps, holy shit, ETH is going to dump even harder. So if I'm going to get into an ETH long, it's always because I think ETH BTC has a chance to become bullish, or it's already confirmed that it's bullish. Alrighty. In general, I've been talking about altcoin season since last October. And altcoin season, in my opinion, will only start if quantitative easing and rate cuts kick in. So if you're going to be longing altcoins before rate cuts, I think you're front running rate cuts, and that's the risk that you run. So Thomas says, wouldn't it be relevant to look at Sol BTC? I do look at Sol BTC. Yeah, I don't know when the last time, but I have Cardano, BTC. Yeah, like, see, we have the levels. Yeah, we look at all of them. I mean, I have Cardano BTC, dude. Yeah, so all of them. But yeah, but what about this though? Even if this ends up coming all the way back, still a nice trade. Lions, longers, I'm rooting for you. Shorters, I'm rooting for you. Bulls, bears, we're all lions. Never get that twisted. Root for each other, help each other out. Exclamation YouTube, exclamation Discord. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Smack the shit out of you, chat. All right, stay safe. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow. No, you're the best, Zach. Stay safe, all right? I leave you guys the keys to the jungle. Don't do nothing crazy without me. Peace, everybody. Have a great night.